Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So on today's video, I'm going to talk about my most expensive investment that I'm going to make. I've already started making it, but I'm going to discuss that in slightly more detail. So which investment I'm talking about? Am I talking about the MRF stock? So it costs approximately 85-90,000. The answer is no. Am I talking about Berkshire Hathaway? That is the portfolio management company of Mr. Warren Buffett. The share price is around 4.5 lakhs. No, so that's not the investment that I'm speaking about. Now, before I disclose what exactly I'm going to buy, I just want to outline a very important principle here, because the moment you hear the word come out of my mouth, you will drop off from the video. So I don't want you to do that. So please hear this fundamental concept first. So all of us can have very different opinions about different asset classes. For example, some people will say that, you know what, buying a house is the best thing in the world. Then some people will say that, you know what, buying a cryptocurrency is the best thing in the world. Then some people will say that, you know what, buying a stock is the best thing in the world. Okay, all of us can debate about all these things. But the bottom line is that despite having all these disagreements, we all fundamentally agree on one thing. And that is the core concept of investing, that you must be diversified. This is extremely important. Diversification means that, for example, if you have, let's say, 10 lakh rupees to invest, don't go and invest all that money in stocks itself. Similarly, if you have 1 crore, don't just simply go and buy one house. That's it, right? So please don't do that. That goes against the principle of investing. So I hope that you see this entire video with that spirit. Okay, so coming to the topic, what specific asset that I'm speaking about? So I'm speaking about Bitcoin. I'm going to buy an entire Bitcoin. I'm going to show that to you, not on today's video, but over time. I'm not a maniac that I'll go and invest like $64,000 on one single video. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to follow the principle of diversification. I've already been taking positions in Bitcoin for almost a year now. I'm going to ramp it up. And I'm going to discuss with you the pricing level of Bitcoin, what are the prices at which I see it going, explain you the rationale, because there is a mathematical model behind it. Many people do not understand that mathematical model. I'll try to simplify it. So this is going to be a very exciting discussion. Please don't drop off. Please watch the video till the very end. I'll make it pointed and very easy to understand. So point number one, that why is it that I'm bullish on Bitcoin and what is my strategy and thought process behind it? I've spoken about it multiple times that I'm a major stock investor. I invest in stocks. I believe in the story of businesses. I understand businesses. I run businesses. Therefore, I feel comfortable investing in businesses. That is one part of the equation. Almost 90% of my money is still in stocks. Now, I have said multiple times that I'm going to invest more and more of my money in cryptocurrencies, but this does not mean that my 50% portfolio will be cryptos and 50% will be stocks. No. I'm going to ramp it up to 20% in an SIP mode. That is something that I've already been doing. This is point one. And the important point to note is that I'm buying cryptos for diversification. This is the key angle that you must understand. Second point, am I a believer in cryptocurrencies? Yes, I'm a believer in good cryptocurrencies like Ethereum and Bitcoin. And this is where majority of my cryptocurrency investments are, Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's it. There are very minimal other cryptos that I own. Now, what are the major challenges that I see in the crypto space? The primary challenge or the only major hurdle for cryptos that is left in these spaces, how exactly is the US and Indian government going to react to cryptos? What specifically would the regulations look like? That is all that is left to be seen. The moment there is positive news from US and India, this asset class will blow up. Now, how do I see the regulations playing out? So in my opinion, we will move towards a world where cryptos and currencies are going to coexist. It's not a war between cash and cryptocurrencies. Very important for you to realize that in a country like US and India, blanket bans are not going to get executed the way it happened in the US. I can do a separate video on this topic. Let me know in the comment box if you would want me to do that. But bottom line is that the regulations will happen on certain types of cryptos. Plus, there will be regulations on crypto exchanges, how they are transacting, all that stuff. It is highly improbable that there will be a blanket ban on something like Ethereum and Bitcoin. Why? Let me explain it very quickly, this point also. So you see that even politicians are invested in cryptocurrencies at this juncture. There are big institutional money that is flowing into cryptocurrency world, and who controls politicians and policies at the end of the day? Please don't tell me that, it's the common people. No, they don't, right? Let's be practical about it. Who controls these regulations? It's these big fishes that control the regulations. They themselves are investors. They can't put a blanket ban on this. That's A. Second, if you understand the tech part of it, if you have cryptos in your hard wallet, what is it that the government is going to do? They are not going to come to your home and confiscate it. You tell me this, that if you have gold in your home, can government come and confiscate that? How many times have you seen that? Unless you have hoards and hoards of gold and everyone knows it, then it's a different thing, that there will be some kind of IT raid. But this type of stuff is unlikely to happen. So therefore, I'm getting more and more favorable in terms of the regulations that are happening. Final point is around the China ban. So China very recently banned cryptocurrencies, and there was a lot of hoopla that, you know what, the crypto market will go away, this, that. No, nothing. In fact, after the China ban, Bitcoin hit an all-time high. Right? Very, very recently, China introduced a ban, complete ban, and Bitcoin prices have hit an all-time high. In fact, people in the US, an institution in the US, considered this as a philosophical difference with China and have started supporting cryptocurrencies. Okay, now comes a very interesting question, that till what point or what would be the prices of Bitcoins in the near future? Should we go and trade it? Okay, I have written an entire piece on this on Probo. Please go and read it. This is an exclusive piece that I have written for Probo, and you can listen to this video. You will understand a lot of things. Even if you're not a believer in crypto market, go and place your trade on Probo. Take a stand on your opinion. If you believe that the price of Bitcoin will go to zero, go and take a trade on Probo. Now, if you ask me that, Akshat, you know what, Bitcoin is hitting like an all-time high. I don't know if I should invest in this asset now. I do believe in the arguments that you're saying. I've been reading about cryptocurrencies now for a while now. I get confidence in terms of investing in it. Can you help me demystify the entry point, pricing point, all that stuff? Okay, so let me do that. First and foremost, I would want you to take a look at this historic chart. This is the halving chart for Bitcoin. Take a look at it. So essentially, Bitcoin supply is capped at 21 million Bitcoins. Now, every 4 years, the supply is cut into half. So whatever Bitcoins are to be released in the network, they have figured out an estimate that X number of Bitcoins will be released in a network. Now, this particular injection rate into the circuit of Bitcoin, it gets halved every 4 years. And how does the price behave? This is something that we have historic attributions to. So for example, you can see that Bitcoin started trading from 2011. It went up to almost $90. Then it came down to almost $9. So there was a crash of 80-90%. Same situation in the second halving period, that the price of Bitcoin literally went from approximately $10 to approximately $1,000. Then it came back to approximately $100. Again, 80%, 90% crash. Then again, it went to $10,000, came back to $1,500. Now we are sitting in 2021, Bitcoin is hitting its all-time high, approximately 65,000 USD. So if you ask me that is Bitcoin going to crash, it should, because it is working as per an algorithm. There is a very clear demand and supply game that is being played out, and the model is mathematically driven. So it's very easy to predict the prices on this, and people are doing a fabulous job in terms of predicting the price. Now, what exactly is the model for Bitcoin prediction? I'll explain that in a minute. But let me quickly explain the fact regarding the volatility. Now, many of you would believe in the narrative that, you know what, Akshat, Bitcoins are very volatile, entire crypto market is very volatile. It is supposed to be volatile. It is a new asset. Should that scare you? No, because fundamentally it is a strong asset. Now, here is a tweet by Corey Swan, and it's a very relevant tweet here. So you can see that in the long term, what type of returns Bitcoin has given, and we have a history of 1 decade on Bitcoin. So we are not talking about a random asset here. So in the last day, so we are talking about October 20th, there has been a 5% increase in Bitcoin prices. Last week 17%, 3 months 123, last year 457, 2 years 707, and 5 years 10,500% returns on Bitcoin. Yes, that halving happens because of math. Once that kicks in, the supply gets limited. Miners have to mine new coin. Now, of course, I can't explain that entire fundamental on this short video, but bottom line is that this is literally math driven. To cut the long story short, there is absolutely no reason why the Bitcoin should not be hitting 100,000 soon. Alright, so what is that mathematical model that I have been speaking about? The model is called as stock to flow model. Now, this is a model that is incorporated for a lot of commodities. For example, if you compare Bitcoin to commodities like gold, silver, platinum, these are known as store of wealth commodities because they retain value over time. I will link this article in the description box so you can check it out. But just to explain you the basic fundamental behind this is, it can be summarized through this line, that it is difficult to significantly increase the supply of commodities like Bitcoin or gold or platinum, because there is a lot of process, there is a lot of effort that goes into mining gold. There is a lot of effort that goes into mining Bitcoin. A lot of electricity is used. So the supply cannot be driven up massively in a very short span of time. So estimating the demand and using regression analysis, you reach a graph like this. So this is the stock to flow model, and it categorically predicts the prices of Bitcoin. Now this model is already there, right? I mean, you can take a look at that. Okay, 11th June, the price of Bitcoin should have been approximately 74,000, 75,000. Now please don't say that exactly it should be this and the model did not work. These are approximates. These are number driven things, math driven things. So of course there is going to be a covariance. But let's try to test it out if this model actually works, right? Roughly speaking, this model actually works. So let me show you an article which was written on July 5th, 2021. Very, very important. You can check the date also here. And let us look at what this article says. The Bitcoin stock to flow model currently suggests that the price of Bitcoin should be around $78,000. But as of Monday, when the article was written, the cryptocurrency was trading at 33,668, right? Now, so during this time, the model was off. July, August, September, October, right? So 4 months. Now what happened to Bitcoin prices? Now we are sitting on 20th October and Bitcoin prices have hit 65,000 US dollars. So now let's go back to the model and try to see if it's meeting that stock to flow model prediction. Okay, so as per the model on 20th October, the price should have been 66,000. Now it's at 65,000. So very close. What I'm trying to prove is that, see, this mathematical model roughly works. It converges. According to this model, there should have been a massive rise from this particular part. So what I'm trying to prove through this exercise is that the math determines the price of cryptocurrencies. There is a specific model that you can use to predict the prices. In the short term, there will be variance around this model, but in the long term, it catches up. Now, according to this model, 3 halvings have already been done. We are inching towards the 4th halving, and this model should work accurately. Now, what is the key limiting factor for this model? It is the regulation, right? Now, 3 scenarios can play out, right? One is a favorable scenario for cryptocurrencies, which is where US plus Indian governments, they are going to look at the cryptocurrencies in a very favorable manner. And if that were to happen, of course, the Bitcoin will hit 100K very, very soon. And of course, there will be massive adoption, good things, and crypto will become literally a rocket. Second would be status quo, right? Status quo. So status quo means that things stay as they are, that there is a lot of uncertainty around cryptos, whether the governments will ban it, not ban it, this, that. So in that scenario, this model should work, and this model should keep us giving the type of returns it's giving. And third and finally would be a breakdown model, right? That, hey, countries come and breaks this entire thing down. So this is a pessimistic scenario. What would be the price of Bitcoin? No one knows. But my understanding, and mathematically speaking, we should be somewhere between 1 and 2. So I'm taking probability bets according to that, and therefore I'm investing big in Bitcoins. Now let me also help you predict prices by using technical indicators, and then finally I will talk about my aggregation strategy in Bitcoin. Now this is the chart for Bitcoin, and here we need to take a look at the log chart, right? Why is that? That's a separate topic altogether, but we need to take a look at log charts for cryptocurrencies, not the basic chart. Okay, so this is where we are. We are hitting approximately 65,000 in terms of Bitcoin. This is a very nice rounding pattern, and post this will form a cup and handle like this. And then Bitcoin in conjunction with the stock to flow model is likely to explode, right? So it will form a cup and handle pattern. If you know what cup and handle pattern is, I've taught multiple times. This is going to happen and the Bitcoin is going to go up from there. This is what technical parameters tell us. So what am I doing? I'm stopping my Bitcoin investment as of now because we are somewhere here. I'll just wait for it to fall for a little bit. If not, then I will continue to invest in an SIP format. So when it falls to this level and gives a breakout, that is the time that I will start reinvesting and start redoing my SIPs. Now, if it breaks this resistance with volume, then I'm going to aggregate in bulk amount. That is based on my understanding of the technical parameters. So let me help you understand those points further by drawing another chart. This is what you can see, that this is the cup and handle pattern, right? That is forming on cryptocurrencies. This is the handle, this is the cup. Now, if you pick the depth of this entire thing and superimpose it on this, guess the price that we are sitting at. So we will be at approximately 100K, which both technical and stock and flow model predicts. Now there is a very strong convergence of technical and fundamental patterns. Therefore, I'm quite bullish on Bitcoin. What is it that you should be doing? Point number 1, please don't go and invest all your money in cryptos. Bad strategy. Follow the concept of diversification as I was earlier speaking. Point number 2, aggregate in small quantities. It's a good asset to aggregate from that perspective. Is there a guarantee of return? No. But fundamentally speaking, it's a solid asset where you could consider diversification. Third and finally, understand these technical patterns and fundamental patterns that I have taught. follow the stock and flow model and try to predict the prices and accordingly take bets. And do check out the question on Probo. Do take a trade where these Bitcoin prices will be trading on Diwali. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your questions and please like and support this video. I will see you the next time.